Good morning. Welcome to the live morning broadcast on this beautiful, what is today? Today is a Tuesday, on this beautiful Tuesday over here in upstate New York. But wherever you're tuning in, I hope you're ready for an awesome broadcast because we have a lot planned for you today. We've got a lot going on. We're going to talk about in totality how you can reach your greatest potential. I know a lot of people who are capable of so many amazing things, right? I believe we're all capable of greatness. We're all capable of reaching this thing called your potential. But it's a very woo-woo term, right? What does your potential even look like? Well, I believe that we were all placed here, whatever you think that to believe. I believe that we're all placed here to make a difference in the world. I believe that we are here to serve others. And I believe that to find true happiness, I believe that to truly tap into these reserves of inner power that we hold, it comes down to making a difference for other people. My entire life changed when I stopped focusing 100% on me and started placing my focus on other people, not just the people in my family, not just the people in my community, but using these tools at our disposal like social media in order to truly make a difference with whatever it is you have expertise in. Specifically today, we're going to talk about how to break down your goals into actionable chunks that you can begin taking action towards right now as soon as you end this live broadcast. We're going to go into specific productivity hacks because let's face it, you're busy. You've got a lot of things going on in your life and you're starting to think to yourself, is this all there is? Go to work. Come home to the family, eat my breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? Things just begin to look the same. They all start to blur together. What if I told you there was a way that you could reach your goals, that you could act at your greatest potential while also being there for your family, being there for your work? What if you could live your potential while being more productive, while reaching your goals? It is all possible, and we're going to be diving into it today. And then we're going to talk about the formula that I've coined as the 5 Ps of self-mastery, which is going to help you optimize your life. So we've got a long training for you today. I hope you're ready to dig in. Be sure you've got a pen. Be sure you've got a paper. It's super awesome to have you here. Rosti Mamad, it is great to have you here, Rosti. Thanks for tuning in so early today. I hope you're great. It's a pleasure to have you here. But the first thing that I wanted to touch on is what we talked about last week. Last week, throughout this whole video series, we've been touching on things such as what is the one area of life that you're focused on right now? What is the one area of life, such as your emotions, your physical body, your finances, your relationships, your spirituality? What is the one area of life that by focusing on it, and by placing most of your energy there, you will create giant results in every other area of life as a result? For me at the beginning, that was focusing on my thoughts. It was focusing on my emotions. What is that for you? Because last week, we talked about the success funnel. We talked about how to go from where you are now to where it is you want to go in whatever area of life that looks like. We talked about the importance of having an outcome, having a goal, having something that you're making steps towards, which we're going to break down even more today. We talked about the true key element that will help you to go from where you are now to where it is you want to go, which is your reason why you're doing it. We called it your red dot. We talked about your why as the bullseye, the dartboard, you can think of it as. And as you're throwing darts at the dartboard, the darts are your goals, slowly but surely you're making your way to hitting the bullseye more often. Your red dot is the bullseye. So what is the why for you? Then we talked about taking action towards that goal, adjusting your approach if you're not getting the result you want. And once you do all of those things, you build massive momentum for yourself. So my question for you, and the question that we ended with last week, was what is the outcome you're going after? What is this goal, this vision of yours that is so important to you? It's important that you have that in mind because today we're really going to dive into that vision. We're going to talk about what it's going to take for you to go from where you are now to where it is you want to be, whether you're trying to get in shape, or whether you're trying to add more love and connection into your relationships, whether you're trying to achieve financial freedom, create more time so that you can enjoy more of your life, whatever it may be, have that outcome in mind for today. Now, tomorrow is a very exciting day. Today is very exciting, but tomorrow is even more exciting because tomorrow is the official open cart date for the Be Better Bootcamp. Tomorrow is your first official day to register for this upcoming Be Better Bootcamp. The bootcamp has been around before. It's aired one time so far. And for everyone who joined the bootcamp, it was a pleasure to have you there. Everybody got massive results because they had a plan. They showed up each week to execute on the plan. And as a result, they got the outcomes they're looking for, or at least they built up the momentum to continue towards the outcome that they were looking for. So tomorrow is the first official public launch of the Be Better Bootcamp. And if you didn't hear about what goes into the bootcamp and what it's all about, the bootcamp is simply this. We meet together each week. It's a virtual mastery session, we call it. We meet on Zoom each week for 6 weeks, and we touch on a key area of life in each call. We touch on a lesson that's going to help bring you from where you are to where it is you want to go. We share wins, we share struggles, we share challenges, but together we push through to get to where it is we want to get to. So 6 mastery sessions. It's a 6-week program that starts this month, at the very end of this month, the 30th. The next boot camp starts. Tomorrow, registration opens. So keep an eye out for the registration video tomorrow that I'll be launching. And it's going to end in early November, where you'll then be certified as a self-master. You'll get a physical certificate, all that fun stuff. But it also includes a complete physical guided workbook and includes a supportive community of people that you get to stay in even when the boot camp ends. So the boot camp is going to help you to get to where it is you want to get to. The cart for it opens tomorrow. Today, I want to deliver a boatload of value to you so that you can get started today on whatever it is you want to achieve. But the boot camp is for those who want to take the next step. Now, the boot camp is very different than anything you've ever done. Okay, it's not pre-recorded videos. We don't drip out these videos to you so you can watch them and take the lesson afterwards. We are there live together. I am literally helping to hold you by the hand as you go from where you are to where it is you want to be. It's unlike any kind of program or coaching you've been a part of. It's not like going to school. It's not like going to college. This is literally life experience. We talk about what you want. We talk about how to get there, and then you get your boots on the ground to make it happen. The boot camp is a commitment of 2 hours each week. Would you give yourself 2 hours each week if I could guarantee you that you could get from where you are now to where it is you want to go, or at least build momentum towards it in the next 6 weeks? Would that be worth 2 hours a week for you? But don't take it from me. Take it from someone who went through the past Be Better Bootcamp and got incredible results for themselves. And check out what she says was different about this bootcamp from past programs. I wanted to talk to you about, if you're up for it, just your experience going through the bootcamp, what you wanted to get out of it, what you did get out of it, how you thought it was different, all that fun stuff. So if you're up for it, I'd love to have that conversation with you.
So yeah, my experience with it was definitely much more than I thought it was going to be, because I don't know how to word it in a nice way to like the life coaching industry, but a lot of them just, oh, hey, join this program, pay this money, and then it's like copy paste emails, and not that those aren't beneficial to a degree, but then there's also no sense of like personality with it. So when it was like, yeah, there's a meeting every week and then we're going to talk about all these things, I was like, oh, I'm involved in this. So cool. I loved that aspect of it. And it really, when I was looking at my stuff, there's not a lot of people that do that will offer that kind of like one-on-one thing. It'll be like pre-recorded videos or something. So being able to not only have that with you who's teaching us these processes, but then other people, so you can message them and be like, hey, this is, I'm kind of having a hard time understanding this. How did you take it? And then they get back to you about it. I loved it.
So that was from Crystal herself, talking about how this program is different. It's not where you're given a video each week and you have to go through it yourself. It's where you're actually there going through the process together as a team. Crystal was able to, for those who don't know Crystal is a content creator, and she's one of the founders of Life IQ, where she's also helping people make changes in their life. She had so many things going on between Life IQ, between everything she does in her own personal life, between things with her family. And Crystal was able to take all the content she does with Life IQ and batch it in a way where she gets more done with less time, which allows her to spend more time with her family, friends, and doing the things that she truly loves to do. And she was able to do that within 6 weeks. So this program is different than anything you've ever gone through. Keep an eye out for the registration opening tomorrow. But today I wanted to talk to you about a few very, very important topics that have to do with reaching your greatest potential. I asked you recently what your top questions were in the area of personal development, from getting where you are now to where it is you want to go. And the two overwhelming questions that we received was, you want help breaking down your goals. You want help understanding the difference between what a goal is, what your vision is. You want help to create more time for yourself because you're so busy and you've got all these things you want to do, but you're not quite sure how to incorporate them into your life. And today I want to talk to you about both of those things. And the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about specifically is the difference between your vision, the ultimate outcome of where you want to be, let's say for the sake of example, in the next 3 to 5 years. And right now you're here, okay? Right now, this is your current location. And everything in the middle here is the gap between where you are and where it is your vision lies. Now, I don't believe that vision and goals are the same thing. I believe that your goals are the stepping stones that will take you from where you are now to where it is you want to be. So it reminds me of when I was going through my weight loss journey. Right? Where I started, I was 260 pounds. I was very unhappy with myself. You've heard the story. I was anxious. I was depressed. I didn't want to leave my apartment. I didn't want people to see what I looked like, what I'd become. I was very depressed at that point in my life. And I was here, 260 pounds and unhappy. My ultimate vision was I wanted to be lean. I wanted to be stronger. But most importantly, I wanted to be able to look at myself in the mirror and be able to say, I'm happy with where I'm at right now. I wanted to be able to fit into nicer suits. I wanted to be able to bring a presence with me. I wanted to have more energy. I wanted to have more vitality. And my vision just a year from where I was at the current location was I wanted to feel better about myself. Now, the gap here, these are your goals. Your vision is where you want to end up. Your goals is everything between where you are and where you want to be. And this is the beautiful thing about vision. You don't need to know every single step of the way between where you are right now and where it is you want to go. That would be really stressful to have to know every single step. The beautiful thing about goals and vision, though, is you always know the next step. As an example for me, I wanted to release weight from my body. I wanted to feel better about myself. And I wanted to eliminate as much as possible these feelings of anxiety and depression. So my mentor at that point gave me a book, and the book was called The Secret. So one of the goals I had throughout this weight loss journey was to read through this book that I was given by my mentor called The Secret. So one of my goals was to read. One of my goals was to educate myself. So I did that. I read the book, I applied what the book talked about, and I got a result by going through the book and actually using it and taking action on what it is that I learned. So I read and I educated and I started to be more conscious of my thoughts. And one of my goals then became, I want to write down every thought that I experience and every emotion that I experience throughout my days. That was one of my goals. So one of my goals was to be conscious of my thoughts, okay? And I did that for probably a week to 2 weeks. I actually had a journal, and I wrote down all the thoughts that I had throughout those few weeks. And it was a lot of, obviously I didn't write down every thought, but I became conscious of my thoughts and wrote down how those thoughts made me feel. You can even test this on yourself, right? When it comes to your goal and when it comes to what it's going to take in order for you to get there, what are the emotions that you're experiencing on a daily basis right now? For me, I was having thoughts such as, no one wants to look at me. I'm unhappy with myself. How did I allow myself to get so fat? It's all my fault. What am I going to do to change this, right? All these disempowering thoughts. And if you're familiar with The Secret or the law of attraction, then you've heard the phrase that thoughts become things. So these thoughts of, I'm not enough, I can't do this, who am I kidding? I'm always destined to be a fat kid, right? These thoughts of being big boned and all these things that stacked against me, I had to eliminate. I had to start incorporating different thoughts. But the first part of incorporating different, more empowering thoughts into your routine is first being conscious of the thoughts that you're having. So that was one of my goals. And then it came down to the actual physical part of releasing weight from my body. It became going to the gym. The mentor that I worked with at that time started going to the gym with me, where I would spend an hour 3 times a week working out, getting my sweat on, right? Moving my body intentionally. And I started to incorporate a practice of eating that I write about in my book called Be Extraordinary, which you can get a free copy at bebetterindustriescom/book. Go to the physical mastery section. I started to incorporate something called intermittent fasting. Okay. And this was probably now a couple months into my journey. I started to get some results. I started to get slight results. I started to make progress and build up wins. And that's the most important piece of this, is you want to start to build up wins. The more you can notice wins, the faster you're going to be able to create more wins for yourself. And after I started reading and being conscious of my thoughts and going to the gym and working out and incorporating intermittent fasting, I started to change my circle of friends that I hung out with. I started to meet different people. I started to talk to people about different things, right? I started to get around different people, which allowed me to have different thoughts and different mindsets and different attitudes that were injected into my day. So currently, I've got 5 goals here from where I was at my current location to my vision. My vision was being 180 pounds. That was my goal at the time. That was my ultimate outcome that I wanted in my weight loss journey. And this is about 4 months into the process. I'm seeing great results at this point. I'm really slimming down. People are saying that they're noticing a difference in me. But most importantly, at this point in my journey, about 4 months in, I started to feel a lot better with myself. It's very important to say, in the past 3 minutes, we just went over 4 months of content. We just went over a 4-month journey. Whatever it is you're going after, it's going to take some time to realize it. The beautiful thing about your vision is you have to have patience, but not just have patience. You have to learn to enjoy this journey. And part of enjoying the journey is recognizing your wins, but it's also setting a goal, achieving the goal, setting another goal, achieving that goal, setting a goal, achieving it, setting a goal, achieving it. But what are you generally doing every time you set a goal and achieve it? You set a new goal. So a big portion of your joy and fulfillment through this process is to truly find joy in the journey itself. Find joy in the intentional suffering of going to the gym and really ripping your muscles to build new ones. You have to enjoy the process, otherwise you'll fall off the wagon. So I think Gary Vaynerchuk calls it aggressive patience. Be patient, but be out there doing things. Otherwise, you're not going to get to the ultimate vision. And after all of this, I started to buy new suits. Okay, one of my goals was I wanted to buy a new suit, a few sizes down, and I want to be able to fit into it. And I was able to do all of these things until 6 months from the original start date, I reached my vision. And I ended up where I wanted to be. I was 185 pounds. I looked in the mirror. I was happy with myself. But understand, throughout this whole weight loss journey, my ultimate goal wasn't just to look a certain way. The first thing that I had to work on were the thoughts that I was experiencing on a daily basis. So it's not enough to just create a goal. You have to have a vision. And your goals are the stepping stones to bring you from your current location now to your vision. So my question for you is 3 to 5 years from now, or even if you want to make it bite-sized, 1 year from now, what is the one area of your life that you want to make incredible progress in? Is it your body? Is it your emotions? Is it the things that you're feeling throughout the day? Is it the friends that you spend time with? Is it a relationship goal? Is it financial freedom? What is the goal, the vision that you are setting for yourself just 1 year from this day? Write down your vision. And then just remember, at the beginning, I didn't know that I would incorporate intermittent fasting. I didn't know that I'd be finding all these different friends who help to inspire and motivate me. The important part is you always know the next step ahead. So think about that vision of what you want. 1 year from now? Or if you want to go crazy with this, 3 to 5 years from now. And then ask yourself, what is the one thing that I can start to make progress towards right now that will bring me closer to that vision? For me, the first step was to read that book my mentor gave me and apply it. And after I did that, I created the challenge for myself to be conscious of my thoughts. And after I did that, I recognized I should probably start moving my body more. I should probably start lifting weights in order to burn fat, right? Start building some muscle. I started going to the gym just 3 times a week. I wasn't going there every day. The point I'm making is when it comes to your goals here that lead to your vision, it's all about the next step ahead. Now, the beautiful part of the Be Better Bootcamp is we help you to take these steps. We help you to plan the next goal. We help you to determine what this long-term vision looks like. And within 6 weeks, you're building up massive momentum towards it. As an example, we had someone go through the last Be Better Bootcamp. Her name is Jamie DeLuca, and I'll play a short clip with Jamie here in just a minute. But Jamie is in sales, and Jamie's vision is she wants to build a book of business so that she can create financial freedom for herself in the next 5 years. So her vision is financial freedom, not having to work unless she wants to work. So I asked her, what's the first step in order to get there? She says, well, I need to make more phone calls to bring in more customers. I need to prospect more so I can build this book of business, so I can take care of the customers. Before I can help people, I got to find people, right? So I asked her, well, what's stopping you when it comes to that? And she says that one of her fears was getting on the phone. She got this weird feeling in her body whenever she picked up the phone to make a cold call. I haven't met one person out there who enjoys making cold calls. So we had to help Jamie to associate different emotions and different feelings to these phone calls. So check out just a piece of her experience when she went through the last Be Better Bootcamp. So you had these ideas of what you wanted going into this. You didn't quite know if it would work out for you. The name itself had you thinking like, oh my God, what did I get myself into here? So at what moment... Yeah, literally. At what moment did you say to yourself, take me to the moment where you said, my problem is actually being solved here? Like what moment did you say, okay, that's going to help me with this problem of inconsistency?
I just think that like in our initial call, we talked about like mentally things I could do. Like, hey, like if you do this, then think about your, quote unquote, your happy place. And we talked about like, I like to do walks and out in nature and stuff like that. So you're like, okay, well, before you make your phone calls, like think about that. And then like, that will put you in a better frame of mind. And I think just sort of having like that mental image prior to starting any of, because I don't use it just when I have to make phone calls. I use it literally for almost every time I have to do something that it's not what I want to do. Like, it's not like my personal stuff. Like when I like, you know what I mean? Like over the weekend, I went to my aunt's house. I didn't have to mentally think, okay, like, let me picture this before I do it. Like, do you know what I mean? But like, if it's a task that has to be done and it might not be my top priority, then I always, okay, let me think about this.
Wow.
And I try to give myself like not an incentive, but it kind of is an incentive. Like I fill out like what I want to do today. Like I have my things to do list, and it's different than like, the goals. Cause this could have like 10 things on it, whatever. And I mean, it could be stupid things like laundry, like sweep the floors, make, different things like work stuff, like personal stuff. Like it just has like everything on it. So like mentally I'm like, okay, if I can get through my list by this time, then that'll give me like 45 minutes to do like go for a walk or go sit on the sun and read before I have to do like dinner and dishes and prep for the next day. Like I give myself sort of like almost like incentives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I'm really proud of Jamie because Jamie was able to begin building her book of business and begin bringing in these different clients. But Jamie was also able to structure her day in a way where she was able to get her work responsibilities done and then spend the rest of her time with what she really wanted to be doing with that time, which was spending it with family. spending it with friends, spending that time in nature, hiking, walking, sitting in the sun and reading, whatever it may be, because Jamie incorporated a lot of the principles that we talked about when it comes to productivity. And productivity isn't the sexiest word in the world, okay? Productivity is simply a matter of taking these busy lives that we live with all of the different hats that we wear, whether you're a parent, whether you're working a full-time job, you're starting a business, you are going to college or studying in a specific field yourself, while trying to spend time with your family and your friends and everything else you're doing. The reality is, especially in a world full of distractions like your cell phone and social media, we're inundated every single day with all these distractions that are trying to steal away our time and steal away our joy. And when it comes to productivity, something I learned a long time ago, it was actually a quote. I don't know who the quote is from, but it was super powerful, and I wrote it down the way that I understood it, which is, if you want to be more productive, and if you want to turn this busyness into more focus, so that you can truly be living the life that you want to live the next year, the next 3 years, the next 5 years, it comes down to living each day as if it were a mini life. Live each day as if it were a mini life. So the morning where you wake up, the moment when you wake up in the morning, you're being reborn. You're being reborn with a new mission that day, a new purpose. And you might be making steps that day towards the same end result. But imagine if every single day you woke up, you knew or you thought that that day was the last day that you would have in order to truly suck the most out of this life and out of this experience that you can. And everything in the middle is you making progress towards that mission or that vision or that purpose. And then when you go to sleep at night and when you close your eyes and finally fall into a deep sleep, you're reborn again the next morning. And it goes again and again and again. But imagine the shift in the results that you would get if you lived each and every day as if it were a mini life in itself. How powerful would that be? So I try to fill my day as much as possible, not just with distractions and with Netflix and video games, but it's okay to enjoy those things sometimes. We'll watch an episode a night. All right, we'll spend an hour. We'll watch Netflix at night, usually 9 p.m., 10 p.m. at the latest, we'll watch an episode, but only for an hour, so that we can use the other 7 or 8 hours of productivity towards things that are fueling our purpose, towards things that are helping us to reach our greatest potential. And like I said, I believe that your greatest potential has to do with serving others, has to do with making a difference in the lives of other people. And I've got 3 different ways here that will help you to take your busyness and turn it into focus so that you're actually getting more things done in one day than you used to get done in a week, 2 weeks, even a month. It's at the point now where I get more done and I make more forward progress and movement in one day than I used to make in a single week. It's not because I'm Superman. It's not because I don't have anything else going on. It's because I'm focused. And I have systems in place, and I have routines, and I want to show you how to do that same thing. And the first one that I'm going to give you is your success in your productivity is a lot of the ways determined by how you start your day. And I'm not going to go into a deep study here on morning routines because I don't want to bore you that way. But the reality is, the way that you start your day will determine how the rest of your day plays out. So think right now, how are you starting each and every one of your days, or most of your days? Are you starting your days by waking up, staying in bed, and going on your phone? Are you starting your days with emails? Are you starting your days with social media? Reading that post that gets your blood flowing, maybe reading that political post that is the opposing view, and it boils your blood, and now you're experiencing stress and anxiety before you even get out of bed in the morning. What if you could start your day in a way where the rest of your day just flowed for you, where the rest of your day you accumulated all of these other wins and you were making progress towards what it is you want? What if I could tell you that you can start your day beautifully every single day by doing a few things. We talked in one of the previous broadcasts, simply not checking your phone for the first 30 minutes of each day will make a drastic difference in your levels of happiness throughout the day. I can promise you that. The one thing that you can do leaving this training is making it a commitment to not check your phone for the first 30 minutes of each day. And notice how that makes you feel. Something else that you can do is start your day by feeding your mind in a positive way with whatever that looks like. It could look like watching a YouTube video that teaches you something that you can then practice that day. It might be starting your day with a walk outside, moving your body, getting your blood flowing while listening to a podcast that makes you feel good. Starting your day in a positive way could be simply reading 5 pages of a book when you first begin the day. And after 20 days, you've just read 100 pages. You'll be chowing through books faster than you ever could have imagined. The way you start your day will determine how the rest of your day will go. And the way you start your day will determine whether you go to sleep that night saying, I am satisfied with the mini life that I lived today. The way that you start your day is huge. Another way to turn that busyness of yours into focus so that you're not feeling like you're just running around like a chicken with its head cut off is to be intentional. Be intentional with the time that you're spending in your day. Be intentional with your hours. There's a lot of different ways you can be intentional. Being intentional could simply mean you write down a to-do list when you wake up, and I'll write that here. Maybe it's creating a to-do list. And everything on the to-do list is things that will move the needle for you in your life, your relationships, your fitness, whatever goal it is that you're focused on right now. It could be something as simple as a to-do list. You do it right after you wake up, right after you read the book, whatever it might be, and it gets you started for your day. You're more intentional. You're getting more things done because you're simply more focused. Where focus goes, energy flows. Another way that you can be more intentional with your time is to make your calendar a religion. And it sounds boring, but guys, you live one life. Okay, you live one time. You want to get as much done in a positive way in this one life that you're living. And the number one way to do it is to be more intentional with the time that you're given, because time is limited. Time is something you can't get more of. So be intentional by making great use of your calendar. But another way that you can be intentional with your day, and it kind of goes along with living each day as if it were a mini life, and that is splitting each day into 3 days. As an example, you can make it so your morning is one of your days. 7 a.m. to noon is one day. Noon to 4 p.m. is another day with different responsibilities throughout that you time block for. And then from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., it's another section of your day. The first part of your day might be dedicated to your health, your fitness, whatever it might be. The second part, between noon and 4 or 5 p.m., you might be focused on your business and growing your business. And then from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., you're focused on building relationships and being there and being present with your family. There's many different ways that you can be more intentional with your time. And these 3 different things will make that so much more possible for you. Just imagine if you were able to get done in one day what you were normally able to get done in a week. You wanting to leave the rat race, you wanting to open your own business, to start your side hustle, to make your side hustle profitable, you wanting to spend more time with your friends. All of this would be more possible by you starting your day right, being more intentional with your time. And the final way that you can live each day as if it were a mini life is to accumulate wins. Wins. One of the things that we do in the Be Better Bootcamp is each day in the Facebook group, in the exclusive community that we have with all the other winners and achievers there, everyone shares the one win or several wins if you have several. Every single day you share your wins in the group. And sometimes wins can be, I accomplished this goal that I set for my business. I was able to take time for myself today to work on this project. I had a great day in sales at my job. But sometimes wins are, I got a massage today and I focused on myself. I took some time for me. I went back to the gym because it's been a week or two since I was at the gym, or a year or two, right? Sometimes wins are professional, but a lot of the times these wins are personal wins. They are wins that have to do with self-love. They are wins that have to do with you finally taking time for yourself. And there's really no better way to live each day as if it were a miniature life in itself than by accumulating more wins, because by racking up more wins and by writing them down each day and by telling other people how you're winning, it's going to train your brain to search for more wins every single day. And you're just going to keep winning and winning and winning. And this is what builds and inspires the levels of confidence that you have for yourself. So we've talked about the difference between vision and how the goals rack up in order to lead you to your vision. We've talked about how to turn your busyness into laser focus so that you can go from where you are now to where it is you want to go in less time, but not just in less time, but we talked about how you can experience more joy throughout the journey from making that transition. And if you know me, then you know that I'm all about life optimization. I'm all about living in a way that makes it that much more possible and realistic and speedy for me to achieve my goals. And the way that I like to optimize my life every single day is by being conscious of what I call the 5 P's of self-mastery. And the 5 P's of self-mastery is they are the tenets that I live by, and I'm constantly thinking about them. And by focusing on each of these 5 P's, maybe one at a time, and then once you build up habits inside of each of them, you can use them conglomerately, if that's a word. It sounds really good, but you can use them together in order to make progress faster from where you are to where it is you want to be. If you even just focused on these 5 P's after leaving this live broadcast today, you would make incredible progress towards what it is you were looking to achieve. And the first P is something that we've been talking about a lot today, and something that we talk about a lot all the time. You have to have a plan. At any given point in your life, you have to know where it is you're headed. You have to know your vision. Without a vision, the people perish. That's a quote from the Bible, right? This is something that's been talked about for thousands and thousands of years. So again, I've asked you 4 times throughout this live broadcast alone, but what is your vision? What is it that you're making progress towards? What is it that your life is going to look like in 1 year, 3 to 5 years? What would you love your life to look like in 10 years, in 20 years? Obviously, you have no idea what it will look like at that point, but what if you curated that vision in your mind right now? Imagine if you created that vision and in 10, 20 years, your life did look like that. And shoot big, go big, right? Don't think small, because what if I told you that whatever you wrote down on paper that you wanted your vision to look like, what if I told you that that reality would come true? Well, just be careful what you write down, because it very well might come true. You have to have a plan. You have to have a vision, like we talked about earlier. Now, once you have that plan, once you have that vision, a lot that determines the quality and the speed at which you're able to get to where it is you want to get to and set a goal and achieve a goal comes down to your own personal power, which is the second P. It's your own personal power. And your power comes down to 2 different places in your life. Your power comes down to the thoughts that you're experiencing on a daily basis. Fix my flip chart here. It's the thoughts that you're experiencing on a daily basis. Are your thoughts on a daily basis more positive thoughts? Or are they thoughts that bring you down? Are they thoughts that cause disempowering emotions? Or are the thoughts that you're experiencing pumping you up? Are you thinking thoughts of abundance, thoughts of you can do this? Are you thinking thoughts of, if I'm just patient and I continue to follow these steps, I'll be exactly where I want to be? What are the thoughts that you're practicing on a daily basis. That's one of the elements of power. And the other element of power is probably the first one that came to mind for you, which is your physical power or your levels of energy. And the way that you move your body will determine your levels of energy. The way that you move your body and the way that you walk, the way that you talk, the way that you intentionally take care of your body will determine the levels of energy that you have on a daily basis. Very rarely do I meet people who are in great shape who don't have high levels of energy. I'm not talking about the people who are getting ready for giant fitness competitions, because a lot of those people are starving themselves. They're not taking in enough water intentionally. I'm talking about the people who are functionally fit. I'm talking about the people who walk each day. I'm talking about the people who go to the gym a few times a week, 3 times a week. I'm talking about the people who place intention behind their physical fitness. Your levels of energy and power will determine how the rest of these 5 P's work together. That's the first 2 P's. Now, once you understand those, now we can start to think about the question of, what am I here on this earth to do? What are my talents and abilities that I can use in order to help other people? But also, what is the unique story and what are the unique experiences that you've lived in your life that you've learned from? What are the lessons that you've learned that you can give to people who are going through the same exact thing that you went through just 5 years ago or even 1 year ago? The third P is, what is your purpose for being here? Now, you don't need to go off and start a business to live your purpose. You can live your purpose and help other people who were where you were just 1 year ago with your fitness or your emotions or your finances. You can help them in your community. You can help them at local clubs. You can help them by getting on a live broadcast and broadcasting to them all around the world. You can live your purpose at your job, right? Your time and your labor is the most valuable thing you can give anyone. So what if you could derive more meaning and more purpose from what it is that you're doing on a daily basis at your job? And you might be saying, Brandon, I don't like my job, right? Brandon, I'm thinking about going somewhere else. But let me ask you this. How does your job tie into what you're good at? How could you be the best at your job? How could you be the best at what it is you do so that you could help more people? Because your purpose always ties in with other people. To reach the max level of happiness that you can reach, you have to help people. And I think you'd agree that the moments when you're most happy, you didn't get something, you didn't achieve something for yourself, you helped somebody else achieve something, or you performed an act of kindness for somebody else. Your purpose has to do with you taking your skills and abilities and your story and using it to help other people in your community, your family, on social media, or at your job, in your business, whatever it might be. Your purpose is the third P. Now, once we've got a plan, once we're practicing the routines and the rituals that will give us the power that we need, once you align with your purpose and ask yourself, how can I live my purpose today? That leads us to the fourth P, which is surrounding yourself with other like-minded people who are ahead of you in the game. We're not looking for friends who are below us, right? We want friends like that so we can help them to get to where it is we are, to offer them support, to offer them guidance, to offer them a listening ear. But you want to not be the smartest person in the room. You want there to be a lot of other smart people there, okay? You want to feel uncomfortable at times with the group of friends that you're spending time around, because that means that you have a lot to learn. And if you can surround yourself with smarter people, they're going to elevate you to their level. You are the average of the 3 to 5 people that you spend the most time around. So who are the people that you're spending the most time around right now? Okay, it might be your family. It might be the friends that you had from high school, right? It might be a destructive group of friends. But the people that you surround yourself with will either help you toward your goals, or they'll detract from you making progress towards your goals. So a great way to determine the quality of the circle of friends that you have is when you leave the presence of the friends that you're spending time with, do you feel elevated? Do you feel better after spending time in their presence? Or do you feel drained? Do you feel low energy? Do you say to yourself, why did I even just spend an hour or two hanging out with them? If that is the case, you got to find yourself new friends to hang around with. And at times, depending on what it is you're doing, you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel like there aren't a lot of people. That's why people is the fourth P, because it's important that you have these things down, the plan, the power, the energy, aligning with your purpose. It's important that you understand these things first so that you can attract the right people into your life. And once you have these 4 Ps, it's all a matter of building momentum. It's all a matter of making the 5th P, which is progress. And now that you've got these 4 Ps on lock, you understand them, you're practicing them, you're assessing your progress in each of them. Now it's just time to be aggressively patient. Time will pass, but the aggressiveness that you have and the focus that you have towards your goals will cause you to make faster progress towards the vision that you just created for yourself at the beginning of this broadcast. So once you place a focus on all 5 of these Ps, you're going to be in a great place, because you're going to run into challenges, but you understand that those challenges are actually there to help you grow. They're there to help you improve. And in the Be Better Bootcamp, which opens tomorrow, September 22nd, the bootcamp is opening for registration so that you can claim your spot in the bootcamp. We talk about how you can focus and master each of these 5 Ps so that you can make steps towards whatever goal it is that you have for yourself, whether it's in your relationships, your finances, your emotions, spirituality, whatever it may be. These 5 Ps of self-mastery will apply. Now, Peter Holahan is another awesome individual who went through the last Be Better Bootcamp. He got incredible results for himself. To give you some background, Peter had a very strong start to the year, but then he had a lull where he wasn't making any sales. He wasn't opening any accounts. He felt down. He felt sad. He felt anxious of why was I able to make sales at the beginning of the year, but I'm not able to make sales now. So we had to really dig into what was Peter like at the beginning of the year? What did you do then that's not happening now? And we dug in, and over the 6 weeks of him being in the Be Better Bootcamp, he made some pretty excellent results and pretty awesome progress. So take a look at a little snippet of Peter's personal story of him going through the bootcamp. Okay, so let me ask you this. So at the beginning of the year, you closed 4 accounts, right? You were going strong. And then you hit this low period and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, where did everything go? What's happening? Your numbers are up, but your sales aren't there. What did that frustration feel like when you were going through this, trying to solve that problem during that lull time? Like, what did that feel like to you?
Yeah, it felt like, man, this is just too hard. I don't know if it's going to work. Like this is one of my other quit moments. I came really close to quitting again. And I'm like, if I can't get consistency, this is not going to work out for me. But then I'm like, all right, well, have I given it my real all? Kind of back to that touch point where, all right, you've given 100%, okay. You give a little more. How committed are you? And then I think a couple turning points, which Grant mentions the commitment piece. So I bought the policies myself so I could stand behind what I was doing. My attitude was much better. I was much perkier, much more upbeat, positive, even when someone would just flat out give me a hard no and tell me to go to hell. So I think that, like, committed to the product, committed what I'm reinforcing the belief, the positivity part. And then some of your tactics, I think, just as far as, how you what you're saying with the inflection point, questioning if you are, that sort of stuff. But I would do other things too, just try to put myself in other people's shoes.
Yeah.
I think that was big for sure.
Nice.
I'm trying to remember what else there's something else that you kind of taught that helped out.
We went over a lot, man.
We did go over a lot. That's true. I think I remember you mentioning to reach out to people and say how how impressed you were with them. That would help out. Kind of the gratitude piece. I think that helped too, because that you stay more upbeat and positive when you give out that energy. And then respond. She responded really positively. You called it, you nailed it on the head, and I think that helped me as far as working with teammates. With prospecting, we did set some appointments together. We haven't closed yet. One guy had some COVID problems, but we did go out and we were close to moving forward with an account. So I think the gratitude part
it's huge. It changes
really,
your entire vibe.
And I did some other things differently just from your book, from sleep schedule, nutrition, the fruit to moon piece.
Cool.
Yeah. Went to bed a little earlier, got up a little earlier, true to my workout. I wasn't really having breakfast anyway, but I think the fruit thing helped as far as energy up.
Your body thanks you.
I'm laying off the creamer now for coffee.
Nice. Peter recognized what old Peter did that got him results that the current Peter wasn't doing. We dug into his routine. We took a look at what he was doing at this point now. We took a look at what he did, and we tied the two together to figure out what can we incorporate into your schedule, what can we incorporate into your rituals to help you to get back to where you were, but not just to get back to where you were. What can we do to help you make better progress than where you were the first time? And I'm super proud of Peter because he is now on a roll. Like, this guy is one of the most determined salespeople that I know. Super proud of the progress he made. And the biggest portion is because he actually did the work. But throughout the Be Better Bootcamp, we hold you by the hand to help you to make these changes in your life. Every week, we have the mastery session where we talk about your wins and challenges, and we give you a live mastery session to help you with a specific area of life that you'll focus on for the following week. Every week, you dedicate a few hours to yourself. Let me ask you, are you ready to bet on yourself? Do you believe in yourself? And do you believe in what you're personally capable of? Well, if you do, the Be Better Bootcamp registration opens tomorrow. There's only going to be about a week where you can sign up for this bootcamp. So keep an eye out for the live broadcast tomorrow, starting the launch of the Be Better Bootcamp 6-week life improvement experience. I'm so excited to see you there. I'm so excited to help you personally each week. And I'm curious, go in the comments right now. Go to the comments. Let me know, what is the one thing you're going to take from this training this morning and use today in your life? Will it be creating your vision and setting the goals to go along with it? Will it be turning your busyness into laser focus to help you to get to where it is you want to get to? Or will it simply be to focus on one of the 5 Ps that we just talked about a few minutes ago? What will you do moving forward? Let me know in the comments what you're going to do. Share this with a friend, because we went over a lot of great information, but only share it if it helped you, and leave a comment with your biggest takeaway. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and until we talk again, continue to be better.